Now I tell you, I've got to hold this thing gingerly because one time during a tantrum, I broke it. I did. So if you're handy at all and you know how to fix the cord connection, you just let me know because I need your help. Anyway, hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to a new space in the Little Reader's house. I'm the Little Reader, Amanda, and happy 2024. I'm here in the flesh, face to face with you because I wanted to say thank you with my own face so that you could see how grateful I am for the support that you've given me over the last 8 or 9 months. I don't really do math. I started this channel in May of 2023 at an emotionally turbulent and educational time in my life. Aren't all emotions educational? And the channel became this gorgeous outlet for spirit to not just help guide my gorgeous visitors and lovers, who you are, but to also guide me and teach me. And the things that I've learned over the course of 2023 since starting this channel and the ways that my life has changed as a result of you and your support and your presence, words can't really quantify. So, by you being here, and by me being here, and by us sharing space with one another and sharing love, you have uplifted my life. You have taught me so much. You have let me know that I wasn't alone at times when I did feel. And I hope that a little sprinkling of that has occurred for you as well, too. Thank you for every like, every comment, every personal reading. Those have been they've meant the world to me. Thank you, those who have supported my Patreon. Thank you, those who have just watched and loved and been here and been along for the ride. The Little Reader's house is only getting warmer and more excited and more expansive in 2024. So if this is a place where you want to be, then I want to have you. I hope you enjoy this reading and stick around for a little Q&A at the end of the reading. And until we meet again, beautiful soul, I am sending you all the love I've got. Because remember, above all, you deserve love, more love, and never less. Bye for now. Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to the Little Reader's house. I'm the Little Reader, the Little Reader, and you are in my house, and it is so wonderful to have you here for the first reading of 2024. I can't tell you how nice it is to share space with you and to be surrounded by souls that are eager to align with their most blissful, loving, soft, passionate, inspired self. It's a privilege. So we'll dive right into the reading today. We've got 3 lovely crews, and we're going to start out with our strawberry quartz crew. This is a strawberry quartz mushroom. Look how cute this little one is. They're all cute. I got a thing for mushrooms, I'll be honest with you. And then we've got a card that will be revealed once we dive into the reading, but you can take a look at the color scheme here just to see if that floateth your boateth, darling. Next, we've got this beautiful Dalmation Jasper crew here, also in mushroom format. And we've got a color scheme that differs from our pile 1. Look at that. Beautiful vortex of color. And then finally, we have our Tiger's Eye crew. Lucky Tiger's Eye for our pile number 3. And interestingly, and I haven't looked at the mantra on these cards, but it is the same color scheme as our beautiful pile number 2. So pile 3 and pile 2 may already have a little bit of a link. And if you're feeling drawn to one of these, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. So go ahead and find yourself in the pile and crew that most resonates with you, beautiful soul. And I'll see you there. Hello, beautiful pile 1, my strawberry quartz crew. Welcome to your reading. Today, Spirit has a message for you about something that you've let go. It's finally coming full circle. So I'm going to pop beautiful you over to the side here with a reminder that you are so very worthy of love above all else. More love, never less. As I'm sitting here, there is a spider crawling across the back of my table, a little black spider. So you may have been crawling through something recently and just been building your web and minding your own and staying in your own lane. And your emphasis has been on self-love. Your emphasis has been on nurturing yourself, on nourishing yourself, on ensuring that your body is well cared for, your mind is well cared for. Here on the back of your card, we have melancholy. Suffering and sadness can be used, but they are not the point of your creativity. You are always a creative being, and your views echo out. Soreness heals. So my beautiful pile 1, you've been dealing with sadness, and Spirit tells me that you've had a disappointment recently. So something happened, this thing that you've been hoping for, there's still hope. That's why you're here. There's still hope. The hope hasn't left the building, but you've been sad and you've been disappointed. And I think it's fair to say that 2023 was a challenging year for you. It just made you wonder if you've been on the right path, if you've been doing things the right way. And yet you stayed busy, and you've stayed motivated, and you've stayed focused, and you've stayed present. So, yes, you have been on the right path, beautiful soul. Spirit wants you to know it. Your guides want you to know it. I want you to know it. So, Spirit, for my beautiful pile 1, what is this thing that they've given up hope on that's coming full circle now? You didn't give up hope. That's the little reader speaking. Spirit is correcting me and saying, no. Never lost hope on this. You let it go. That's the difference. And I think Spirit wants to make it super clear to you, my beautiful pile 1, that there is a difference between losing hope and letting go. Right here, the Maker 6, generosity. Oop. The Dancer 3. Jubilance. Ooh, my goodness. With the Dancer 10, Heart Song. Okay. Come on, join the party. Soul Loss. Dreamer 3. Ooh, that is our 3 of Swords there. Clarify, please. Our 6 of Pentacles, Spirit, right here. You've got Dancer 4 in reverse. Vain Reflections. That would be our 4 of Cups. Dancer 3 clarified, Dreamer 7, a coward betrays. Dancer 10, the Dancer Water, that's our Ace of Cups. And Dreamer 3, ooh, Soul Loss. But there's another card that wanted to come out here. So we're just going to flip it. Yeah, that's the Devil. And when I was assigned this reading topic, ooh, and the Chariot in reverse, okay. It all comes crystal clear, my darling. When I was assigned this topic, the Devil came out. I was actually channeling what the topic was going to be using another deck of cards, and the Devil came out in addition to another card that we might see in your reading. It's not here on the spread yet, but I already sense the energy of it. So something that's important to note here, my beautiful pile 1, is that this thing has your heartstrings deeply. And the reason you haven't lost hope is because you know there's a heart connection. With all the dancers here are our water suit. So it's our cups. And with these dancers in front of us, it indicates that there's this beautiful emotional connection. There's this soul connection. There's this heart connection. And Spirit validates how much effort you put into this, which is why it's caused so much sadness. Spirit validates how much you've given to this, only to experience rejection. And I, of course, want to go in the romantic direction, because when I see the Ace of Cups, that's kind of the relationship I've built with the card, is to recognize that as a romance card. I also see the Dancer 9, that's our 9 of Cups. The Dancer 10, that's our 10 of Cups, and the Dancer 3, that's our 3 of Cups. So this is something about interpersonal relationships. This is either a friend or a lover that you have let go, but not stopped hoping. So, first things first, let's tell the story. This is an individual who you gave a lot to, and they played with it. Friend or family, they played with it, they enjoyed it from time to time. But if we look at Vain Reflections, our 4 of Cups here, in reverse, it was like they were more interested in their own reflection and the way you make them look and the way you compliment them physically or to others than they were interested in you at the time that you were at the height of your generosity. So Spirit said, okay, this door is closing. You sensed it as well. You kept them in your friends group, kept them in your circle with Dancer 3 and Jubilance here. We can see that there were many good times. The story unfolds as this is probably someone you see at social gatherings, at social events. This interpersonal connection, maybe you work with them as a coworker, or they're a family member and you saw them over the holidays, depending on which holidays you celebrate. You saw them at various gatherings. With Dreamer 7, a coward betrays here. There was a moment of hope that was followed by a significant letdown. And you might have been building an emotional rapport with this person, and you were thinking, my beautiful Padawan, we've got this. We're on this. It's happening. It's all coming together. I knew it would. And then, boom, stab to the chest. Stab in the heart. You can see this ghoul raising its knife about to hit this unsuspecting individual. So at this point, things take a massive energetic turn. With Dancer 10 here, Heart Song, you discovered in your journey that your desire for family, your desire for community, your desire for love is best served by finding people who will match your generosity. That's been a huge theme of this situation. I'm going to clear my throat. Give me just one moment. That's been a huge theme of this situation, is you learning that I'm going to give to who gives to me. And in this circle, they're all touching hands. It's all equally measured. This long braid that you see here coming down from this character's hair, matched by the strings coming off of this character's outfit. It makes me think that this person actually remained in your social circle, that you forgave them, that you didn't butt them out, you didn't kick them out. They stuck around. It's just so close, but not touching. So I don't think you fully pushed this person out. In fact, I believe you gave them another chance, whether they're family, friend, potential lover, coworker, neighbor. You gave them another chance and you said, you know what, I'm going to give to who gives to me, but I will allow you to stay because I have more than enough compassion to go around. With water here, upright, you have found within the cells of your own being satisfaction and love. And it's caused you great suffering and sadness to be alone in this solitary journey of loving yourself and of giving to yourself and of being kind to yourself, because not many people are on that page. So there's been a lot of loneliness on that road. We can see it here with soul loss, Dreamer 3. This is a heartbreak card, and this is a very rough depiction of it. The heart's literally been pulled out of the character, and we've got 3 crows dissecting and chomping on it. This is our 3 of Swords equivalent. 3 crows chomping on that heart, leaving this empty space. This card tells me that, in addition to the melancholy card, what you did, beautiful soul, is you have healed yourself over the past year. And you've also helped heal this person by never kicking them in the face, By never hitting them with a low blow, you very much absorbed the pain of the two of you. And Spirit is saying that was a noble thing to do. You didn't have to do it, but you chose to do it. You chose to absorb both your pain and their pain because of this immense amount of love. And because these dreams that you have of unity, this is our wish card, the 9 of Cups, make a wish. You have these dreams of togetherness, these dreams of unity, these dreams of romance. And the romance doesn't have to be with a lover. It could be like this romantic platonic connection. It could be, look, these two people are crying together, looking eye to eye. It's just connection at its finest. That is what you dream of. So you absorbed a lot of pain in this situation, beautiful soul, a lot. And I'm giving you all the love I've got because I know what that feels like. With Pan, that's our devil equivalent, and the Chariot in reverse, you let go of this situation because you said, I can't move this forward. I, that's you, beautiful pile 1, can't single-handedly make a connection out of this. I can't force something, period. And although I'm deeply attached to it, and although it tempts me, and although it fills me full of loving feelings, and it fills me full of hopes and dreams, and it fills me full of a desire, I have made my bed, and I am at peace with that niche, that little area of my life that's kind of got a void in it this time. This is the situation, beautiful soul. So, Spirit honors your suffering. Spirit honors where you've been. Spirit honors where you are. Your guides have been taking beautiful care of you during this entire experience, and I'm sure that you felt that. And now we're going to see how this is coming full circle. So, let's clear these away just so we can have a nice, energetic, fresh slate. And how's your beautiful heart, my friend? Please take care of that beautiful, priceless heart. You are so worthy of love above all else. More love, never less. It's here for you. We're here for you. Your guides are here for you. With the Manifesteer popping out of the deck, that's our magician equivalent in this deck, you're a warrior. You're strong. Heaven looks at you and applauds, yeah, because your choices, with this Alchemy Choices card coming out, are always going in the direction of self-love. You're always saying, how can I have more integrity in this situation? How can I be more honest in this situation? How can I be kinder in this situation to myself and to others? It's beautiful. So Spirit, show us for my gorgeous pile 1, how is this coming full circle, please? Animal energy. Silent retreat, silence in reverse. Codes in nature, miracles. Sarki stability, that's the Emperor equivalent. Wow, Vri, that's the Fool, freedom, upright. Legacy, conjuring, wow. Ocean, justice, beautiful. And Osupa, vision, that's our moon equivalent. So secrets will be revealed. Oh, yeah. So with the Wheel of Fortune here, things are about to take quite a huge turn in this dynamic. And yes, Iku transformation, that is our death card, our ego death. So in a way, you facilitated your own ego death, pile 1. You have learned your lessons, you've assimilated, you've acclimated, you've taken your lickings, I suppose you could say. That's coming to me now as, I think, a reference to a show I've been watching. Lickings, like a spanking. You've taken your blows and you've accepted them all. And even though you felt this melancholy and this sadness, you've carried on. You're still here. You're watching this video. You still have hope, but you're also in this beautiful place of holding something with an open hand. So now Spirit is saying where there was chaos and where there was confusion, there's going to be a new beginning. This animal energy is very primal. It goes to the link, something that is shared amongst all of us. And it has to do with shared, I would say, life force energy and love. Spirit's saying, where you felt there was chaos, you've also always felt a primal, foundational connection to this person. And that connection is about to be reinvigorated with a new beginning. The past will be erased. And your giving, which you stopped giving, you stopped hemorrhaging energy in the direction of this person. But all that you gave was like deposited into a savings account. And now you're being given the PIN to open that savings account. And I get a sense that it's going to be with this specific individual here, because I see this silent retreat card. If there's been distance or silence between you and this individual, it's about to change, especially if it's been long standing with the legacy card here. And there have been these whispers in the wind. Maybe friends and family have talked about this. Maybe you've talked about it to other people. There have been whisperings, there have been hints about what's going to happen here, but it's always just vaporized into the void, vaporized into the mist, never really manifested into anything. The whispers were silent. They were your own hopes, they were your own dreams. They've been the readings you've watched. They've been your private meditations. They've been the feelings you've felt. They've maybe even been exchanges, the subtext of conversations you've had with this person. Spirit says that when you talk to this person in the third dimension, and you do, as a friend, a family member, a past or hopeful future lover, whatever the context is, there's always a subtext. It's like there's an unstated knowing between you. And Spirit says that's about to become stated with communication. We go from silence to something. We go from silence to miracles and to justice. So suddenly jumping out of the water and jumping out of the vapor and the smoke of the void comes this character Oshan with justice, with truth, holding a sword made of water. The significance of this can't be overstated. The sword is communication, it's words, it's knowledge. The water is emotion. It's talk about how we feel. You may also have redecorated yourself in this brand new way. You're currently wearing your body differently. You're wearing your clothes differently. You're wearing your hair differently. You're wearing new jewelry. You're shining, you're shimmering. You're going out in nature. You're spending time with, I keep hearing, getting to know yourself, getting to know your body again, taking chances. You may have changed your exercise regimen. You may have redecorated your home or your room. You may be adding color. You may have added a streak of color to your hair, pink, green, blue, something kind of unusual and mermaid-esque. And all of this is part of a reinvention of yourself, which is being mimicked in this particular dynamic because you let it go, beautiful soul. Because you didn't, again, let go of hope, but you let go of the clinging and the attachment. What's about to be revealed are secrets. So with Osupa vision, this is usually the moon card, which has to do with an obscuring of vision. But in this deck, the moon card is all about coming together, two opposites coming together and agreeing about their differences, but also connecting hand to hand. We saw in that initial spread how I said, well, those characters are so close, but they're not touching yet. But now they're touching. Now answers are given. Now clarity is given. And with Sarki stability, that's the Emperor here in the upright, leadership. Either the opposite party in this situation or someone stepping in to take this person's place with leadership does so. And I see this little plant sprouting in their hand. Let's see if you can see that there. It's like this little seed is sprouting here. A new beginning, it connects to this. The Fool. A stable new beginning emerges here. And with the Wheel of Fortune, it's going to be fast. It's going to be unexpected. It'll come in the form of some type of message. But this situation finally comes full circle, and you've probably been able to feel it in your bones and feel it in your body and feel it in your heart. But there's movement for the first time in a significant period of time. Here. With the Emperor here, you may be stepping up to make this communication. Let's get our final clarity here, Spirit. What happens in this particular situation for my beautiful pile 1, my strawberry quartz crew? The energy is gaining momentum. Yeah, we saw that. We were just talking about that. Expect powerful change. Yep, we knew that as well. And be bold and make the first move. There it is with Sarki stability. So, interestingly, you have a waxing moon, a new moon eclipse, and a cardinal moon. Let's peep the back of the deck just for science. Adjustments are required. I didn't really feel like this is a piece of advice for you. This is probably what's going on with the other party. They're making adjustments. I also feel like this be bold and make the first move is not about a physical move in the third dimension. Don't pick up your phone and call and say, hey, I know we haven't talked in forever, but I really need us to revisit this situation yet again. This is more subtle. Spirit says with be bold and make the first move. This is about being bold and making the first move toward yourself, continuing to prioritize yourself with the Emperor here. The Emperor is not moving, but the Emperor is sitting on the throne in complete and total power, bold and making the first move in this psychic, confident, self-contained, self-loving way. Your job, my beautiful pile 1, is simply to expect powerful change. Is simply to let this energy gain momentum and then hit you and overwhelm you in this beautiful way in which you can then respond to it from this place of power and containment and trust. I'm being moved to just peep the bottom of the deck. Yeah. Bring love into the situation, new moon, Aquarius. So keep bringing love to yourself. And when this situation bubbles up, be open to it. Be receptive to it, because it's something you clearly still have investment in. It's something you clearly still have hope for. But as you've learned over the last cycle of this situation, and through some of the suffering and sadness that you've experienced here, you must prioritize yourself first. You are your greatest ally. You are your greatest investment. You are your greatest asset. So act accordingly and be prepared when this situation is brought to you, because it will be very soon, to lovingly bring yourself into it, lovingly declare what you want, lovingly declare how you feel, and expect to be hugely blessed. Expect to manifest something that lasts for a long, long time, and expect your melancholy to turn into happiness, my beautiful pile 1, as you so richly, richly deserve. That is where we are leaving it today. It's been an absolute honor to read for you, to have you in my house. If you feel moved to like, to comment, to claim, or to subscribe, it would bring me the greatest joy to commune with you now and in the future. And one last little thing. There is a short Q&A at the end of this video if you'd like to learn a little bit about me, the little reader. So until we meet again, beautiful soul, have this love, run with it, enjoy it, and be blessed, because you are so, so worthy. Bye for now. Hello, my beautiful Dalmation Jasper crew, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading on a situation that is coming full circle that you have let go of. It's finally bubbling back up. There's some connection here. This is a message that Spirit wanted me to deliver to you today. So it's definitely something that you haven't been trying to manifest anymore, although it has still been holding energetic space in your field. So you're aware of it, you'll know of it. We'll do a full energy check with the tarot just to see what it is. For you, we will use the Wild Unknown Tarot. I'll set it off to the side. But let's first get a look at what's going on here with you. Copycat. Understand that they exist. Do not be one. To be inspired means simply to be propelled into action. It's not the same thing. Okay, my beautiful pile 2. I'm going to set you over here to the side with a reminder that you are so very worthy of love above all else. And let's talk about this a little bit. In this situation, it's something that you believe is meant to be yours because at the age and stage where you are in your life, and with the work that you've been doing and with the energy that you've put into your life, this particular situation is something that seems like it's supposed to be yours. And I'm seeing images of common social rites of passage. I'm also being told that social media is relevant here. So you are scrolling through your social media, looking at this thing over and over. It keeps coming up on your feed. Everyone's doing it that you know. It's either travel or engagement or moving or simply having a significant other. It's some kind of social rite of passage. And for you, you have let it go. You still hold in your heart that you're going to have this thing, you're going to do this thing, you're going to be this thing. Whatever this thing is, you know what that is, and we'll get a little more insight with the tarot. But it could vary because this is general. You've let it go. Now it's coming back to you. Let's see how it's unfolding. With copycat, we know that the example of others is very relevant here. And there's a comparison element. So think of areas where you have compared yourself to others. It could be financial earnings. It could be you're ready to have the career. Other people in your age and stage have careers, perhaps. And you're maybe still working through multiple part-time jobs, or you're trying to get a business off the ground, something entrepreneurial. Maybe you're trying to get a dream going and you feel like everyone else is living their dream life, quite literally, their dream lifestyle. And I'd like to get mine going. Once again, you're not attached to it anymore. You're not clinging. So Spirit, show us the story for my beautiful Dalmation Jasper crew, my pile 2. What is the story here? So we've got the 8 of Cups upright. And we've got the Hierophant. So there's definitely the influence of others and this idea that the way things are always done is the way they should be happening here. The Ace of Cups upright. The Chariot in reverse, interestingly. The Chariot in reverse did come up in my beautiful pile 1, so you might be coming from there. The Ace of Pentacles reversed. The 3 of Swords upright, another repeat card from pile 1. The 7 of Wands reversed. The 6 of Pentacles reversed. The 6 of Wands upright. And the Ace of Wands upright. Oh, beautiful. And I'm being told to split the deck here in this movement. We got the Son of Pentacles, the Mother of Pentacles, and the 2 of Wands in reverse, all popping out. All giving me a little extra message. So let's tell your story, my beautiful pile 2. I'm going to take a sip of my tea. Okay. So starting with our 8 of Cups. First, let's get kind of an energetic read on you, because I feel your back is tired and it almost seems like you've been carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Earth sign, perhaps? Earth sign who? This is big Cappy vibes, and it is our birthday season right now, fellow Capricorn. So as of the filming of this video, we are in Capricorn season, and I know Capricorn just came out of a 15-year cycle. I think Pluto had something to do with that. You've had the weight of your world, yes, the weight of the world on your shoulders, quite literally, to the extent that your back may be hurting. You may feel your physical body has been out of whack lately. Just random aches and pains. You can't remember a time that things hurt so much, or that maybe you don't recover as quickly as you used to from party time, or that injuries from exercise and just life keep cropping up, and they're concerns about diet and something to do with your physical vessel. It's really been, a toll has been taken on it. So if you feel tired in the body, then that's kind of exactly relevant to the shift that's happening here, because that tiredness in the body, Spirit says, has been from this attempt to keep up with what you think you're supposed to be doing. And in letting go, as you recently have, of what you thought you were supposed to be doing and just becoming who you are, now everything that you thought you deserved and thought was meant for you is rolling in this beautiful poetic way. So let me explain. You walked away from having to continue to create all of your own outcomes here with the Ace of Pentacles, constant seed planting. inspired by perhaps social media, inspired by the influence of others, inspired by relevant TV shows, and I'm hearing reality shows, and your friends. Months ago, maybe even a year ago, maybe for a lot of 2023, the energy that you were in was, I gotta keep up. I gotta keep up. So if that means I'm in school to get my degree, or second part of my degree, or even third. If that means I'm at work, I'm climbing the ladder. If that means I'm fitness related, I'm trying to hit those fitness body goals. And it was just attacking the man. And your approach for that period of time in your life was to make things happen, to create your own beginnings based off of what you thought you were supposed to be doing. But it was draining you, and it was causing all sorts of stress, and in a way driving you apart from some loved ones. You might have let a lot of people go. You might have also shockingly strengthened friendships with people who at one time you didn't think you had anything in common with as a part of this, as a result of this. But in the middle of this process, or toward the end of it rather, leading up to where you are now, you've said, you know what? I'm going to start doing what feels good with this Ace of Cups. I'm going to start doing what fills my cup and brings me love. And in the finding of this heart compass, you've awakened the inspiration, the conviction to actually start knowing what you want and realizing that that may be different than what your peers are doing. And maybe your journey isn't to have your Instagram filled with the top 10 destinations within the next 5 years. And maybe your journey isn't to be making 6 or 7 figures within the next few years. And maybe your journey isn't to have children, or to be married, or to have a notebook romance. If that wasn't what was coming from your heart, all of those things are falling away. And now what you truly desire has been revealed. So there was kind of a pause on your progress here. And we see that with the Ace of Wands and the Chariot in reverse. That's the situation you've been in, is like, for some reason you couldn't create the new beginning. And I'm really gritting my teeth here because I feel it in my actual bones, which is another reason I'm hearing Capricorn and Earth signs, because there's a bone brotherhood in those signs. It's like the compass was shot, and now the compass is back, and now you know your direction, and suddenly life can be generous to you again. Suddenly spirit can be generous to you again, because the direction you're headed in is the one that your heart wants, not the one that everybody else says you should be doing. And now things will gain momentum again, and now you'll be rocking and rolling. With our Six of Wands, this is the rain has been pouring. Oh, I'm sorry, this is our Six of Swords, but we're interpreting it now as the Six of Wands because that's what I said and that's where we're going. So let's just interpret this energy for what it is. That is Swords, Wands. We'll say it's both. You're leaving behind the turbulent times, you're leaving behind the to-do list, and the rainbow is coming out. The gold is at the end of the rainbow. And with this Ace of Wands in reverse, you're going to have this turnaround where suddenly your actions begin to amount to massive progress, whereas before, the literal thousands of actions that you were taking in an attempt to move yourself forward just were seemingly putting you further and further back. They were injuring you, they were confusing you, they were frustrating you, they were stopping you. Now they're going to catapult you forward. And with this, we're going to just say Six of Wands and Six of Swords energy. Not only do you leave behind the keeping up with the Joneses energy, but you move into this beautiful success in the areas where you desire success. And the purpose of this, Spirit saying this whole journey was to help you discover what you wanted, not to be implanted with the desires from others, the influence of what you should be desiring from others. So it's the end of a beautiful cycle here. Spirit, show us now what this looks like, how this is going to actually manifest in events. For my beautiful pile number 2. How will this manifest in events? What can they look forward to seeing, to witnessing, to experiencing? There's the Chariot reversed. There is Wizard balance reversed. There is Ocean justice reversed. We saw that in pile 1 as 2. Wow. All coming to the gateway vision upright. Wow. We saw the Moon as well in pile 1. I have a feeling that all the piles may be connected because pile 2 and pile 3 also have a similarity going on, but we'll see. Clarifying balance Wizard. We have the Fool coming up again, different position, different space in the spread, but the energy is still present. We have walking meditation, just go. And we have unconditional love. Holy molies. This is powerful. Then we have Witch Metaverse, one of my favorite cards from this deck, if I may just say. I'm being moved to take a peek inside at this split. Hermetic create. Yeah, we're gonna keep that out. That is Oop, and this one's kind of peeking out too. Yeah, end of the Hanged Man period, and then Bliss and Trust popping out here. So much, the way the deck behaves is always indicative, and here we have a lot hidden in the center of the deck, which tells me that it's occurring in a linear fashion because we perceive time as linearly in this current state of consciousness. However, there's a lot hidden inside of you that is going to come up out of you and seemingly disrupt, like you're going to take leaps and bounds in your progress that don't seem linear because of what enormous jumps they are. So prepare yourself for that. It's really radical. With Hermetic Create, you're finally going to make that thing that's been inside of you that you've been desiring to create but haven't known what it was. With the Copycat here, Spirit tells me you've been looking for inspiration externally, but it wasn't inspiration that you were seeking when you were doing it. It was a formula. It was a path. So you were looking at other people's social media feeds. You were looking at the way they run their businesses, others, the way they make their job pitches, all the paths. You were gazing at those and saying, okay, I'm going to mimic that. I'll maybe even copy and paste this off of that, change it up. No plagiarizing here, just really literal copying of others' paths. And now you erupt with this intrinsic path that comes from within you, with this mortar and pestle. It has to be crushed, and you've needed to be crushed. And I'm even hearing that your knees might have gotten injured recently in the last year. I see falling. I see like there's a lot of physical mortar and pestling of your body, which is kind of symbolic of what was going on within your spirit to juice out, to squeeze out your true essence. That's what we have here with the Witch Metaverse. You're finally putting your own DNA, your own destiny, your own essence, your own blood, sweat, and tears coming from your soul, not from the environment, into the world with incredible outcomes here. So where something was stopped up with the Chariot in reverse and where there was unknown, which is vision, the Moon in reverse, suddenly you have this new beginning, and it starts with a spark and you breaking free from the status quo. The High School Musical song that has to do with the status quo, there's a lyric there. I see Sharpay Evans dancing on a table in the cafeteria. Stick to the status quo, I think it's called. You're busting out of that completely. And with that, this forsaken idea, forsaken is very specific because there was an outcome you hoped for in this situation, but you didn't think you could have it. That outcome was related to your talent. Spirit says you've thought that you weren't intrinsically talented enough to be successful without copying other people. You weren't intrinsically talented enough. You didn't know enough knowledge. You don't have enough experience, you thought, to start your own business or to follow your own formula, create your own brand new approach. But that has broken within you as of this reading, as of this moment, as of your own personal private realizations. You're like, no, bleep that. Screw is what the word was there. Screw that. I'm just going to go. With this walking meditation, I'm just going to go. I'm just going to take action. It's not about doing what you're supposed to be doing anymore. It's about doing what you want to do, making your own rules. I'm seeing people shredding their diet plans. I'm seeing people deleting one of their social media accounts. I'm seeing someone post something they would never in 1,000 years post, not to be edgy or crazy or, again, not to make waves in the way someone might if they were being a copycat on social media, but to actually be authentic to what they're feeling in the moment without even thinking of how it's going to affect their algorithm. They're just like, we're just doing it. Just go is, you just lost patience, baby. You lost patience with waiting for old methods to somehow become relevant to you because your soul's just too new. Your spirits are saying, and I don't mean in terms of age, you're not old soul or no new soul. I mean in terms of what you bring to the table at this linear time in history. It's too new for this world to be trapped in the confines of old paradigms and old ways of doing things. You're about to break the chain. It's like Fleetwood Mac is popping up in here. With this gateway vision, you just go and you turn your back to the old ways. You turn your back to anything that you don't love. And quite literally, you're only going to be spending time on things you love unconditionally with this blueprint. And it's leaving behind, I'm getting a little bit of a romance thing here too. For some of you, this is going back to get somebody or to start a relationship with a person you had written off because you were like, not my style or not my aesthetic even. And you're like, nope, I'm open now because I actually love them. Or other people don't approve of them. And you're like, we're about to make it official, just because that's how much I love them. If it's not related to romance, it's related to maybe changing your major. You're like, I'm going to go into a field of study I love, not one that is going to allegedly make money and please the family, It's all about going in the direction of your heart and fulfilling the soul contracts that you have quite truly resisted for some time. Resisted, it was a worthiness thing. Didn't think you were worthy. Didn't think you were ready. Didn't think it was time. And Spirit says, baby, not only were you ready, not only is it time, now we're going to multiply the blessing and you're going to create the greatest thing in your recent memory that you've created. I'm hearing memory a lot. Like memories are going to be reactivated for you. And you've been remembering things lately, beautiful soul, that you'd forgotten had happened. Conversations that you'd stored somewhere and now they're coming back and reinvigorating you and inspiring you. What's really happening, Spirit says, is that you're unlocking little pieces of your soul that were locked because a dominant part of you was resisting stepping into taking this much responsibility for your life. With the copycat, there's a really smooth, easy security in copying others because it allows us to not take responsibility. It allows us to forfeit our ownership because we're following the path that was promised to us. And if it goes bad, we can just say, well, that's what I was told to do. So it's not my fault. There was a part of you that really was feeling safe in that. But now that you've tried it out for a lot of last year, you're like, I don't feel safe in that anymore. I now see I tried it. It wasn't fun. It doesn't actually keep you safe. It's kind of an illusion. I'm ready to courageously step into my own path and kind of stop looking for mentors everywhere, kind of stop looking for leadership everywhere and let my heart be the leader that it is. And my goodness, the full body chills that course through me when I say that, my beautiful pile too. So let's see what comes next. I just aggressively attacked the microphone. I hope you're okay. I hope that didn't make too much of a noise in your beautiful ear. I apologize if it did. Spirit, what is your advice or what comes next for my beautiful pile 2, my Dalmation Jasper crew? What advice and what comes next? Both, either, however you want to phrase it. Right here. Look at the bigger picture. Yes, absolutely. Expect powerful change. Wow, exact same position as pile 1. And don't let your past hold you back. That is what's happening with the just go here. And then let's peep this card that's flying out. It's time to take action. New moon in Aries. Wow. Okay, so your action, look at that. Luck is on your side. We're going to keep these both flanking the reading, because there's another thing about balance here. If you check out the way we laid things out, the way the cards move themselves into position, you're moving yourself into position. You're moving yourself into balance. So with our powerful flank, we have Sag on one side and Aries on the other. That's fire. You're getting fired up to move forward. It's time to initiate the thing that you want to do. Don't let your past hold you back, in the sense that you don't have to return to something that you said you were going to do, or something that you tried. That, for example, let's say you have a educational background in a major that does zip for your heart, does zip for your enthusiasm, does zip for your life. You don't have to find a way to repurpose those credits and get like some similar but slightly different major, but you're still compromising on what you really want. That's the essence of what's being stated here. It's not a time to compromise. Instead, look at the bigger picture. We've got 2 arrows facing directly forward. Move. Literally move. That could mean move your house, move yourself, move your job, move your body in a way that feels good. Get going. Take action. 2 new moons means this is a fresh slate. You've got a new moon eclipse right in the middle, dead center. Any action you take now is heavily blessed and will catapult you leagues further. Like, it will make up for all the lost time. If you've had this nagging feeling like, oh no, there's been lost time. No, there hasn't. You haven't lost any time, beautiful soul. There's no such thing as lost time. Simply step into alignment, and everything that you feel is owed to you is going to come flooding into you. That's the thing that's coming full circle here. That's the promise. And it may not have been the things that you wrote on a vision board or wrote on a manifestation journal, because those things were based off of what the world said you should be wanting. These things are what your heart actually wants. Don't panic if you can't put them into words at first. They're going to be feelings. You're switching from an intellectual mode into the gears. Shoo, shoo. I'm seeing a car, like your hands on the, I don't know, is that the clutch or the stick shift or whatever it is. You're switching gears into this feeling way of being, into this heart way of being. And in time, you'll find the words. In time, you'll be able to describe it to other people. But right now, the primal language that you're speaking is the language of action. So put yourself into action. Take the steps and be blown away by the results. That is where we're leaving it today, beautiful pile 2. So I am sending you all the love I've got. If you feel moved to like, comment, or subscribe, it makes my day. If you subscribe, you always get to be in the Little Reader's house. Oh, and lastly, we do have a short Q&A at the end of this video. So feel free to skip to that if you'd like to learn a little bit more about me. But until we meet again, beautiful soul, I'm sending you all the love I've got. Bye for now. Hello, my beautiful Tiger's Eye crew, my glorious pile 3. Welcome to your reading on something that is coming full circle for you that you have let go of. I'm going to set you right off of here, not off of here, just off center. But before I do, I just wanted to remind you that above all else, you are so very worthy of love. You're absolute legend. Let's take a look at your card and see what it says to get a feeling of the energy that is kind of coursing through your energetic veins right now. Oh, wow. We've got Magician. Your talents are not limited. Your creativity is your superpower. Express individuality. So the journey that you've been on, beautiful soul, has been all about figuring out where you can take action, figuring out what part of your life is safe to take ownership for, and how you have been and have been all this time is what I'm hearing, and are in control. We've got the 6 of Pentacles popping out. Are in control of your own life. You are in the driver's seat. And when it comes to Magician, it's not just about control. It's also about you realizing that magic is real. You've been seeing synchronicities. You've been seeing signs, especially in numbers. You've been looking at things. I see 222. I see 444, 1111. Number 4 seems to be very relevant, interestingly. 4 being the Emperor, which is another connection to the Magician. It's about owning your power, owning your ripple, as my beautiful meditation teacher, David G. would say. Own your ripple. So Spirit, show us the story. What journey has my beautiful pile 3 been on? My beautiful Tiger's Eye crew. Show us what is, put you right on top. Show us the story and what is being learned here, and what situation is this specifically? Okay. Our Six of Wands coming right up immediately. Side by side, our Ten of Pentacles. Page of Cups in reverse. The Emperor. Well. We were just talking about you. The Page of Pentacles upright. The Five of Swords in the reverse. The Four of Pentacles upright. The Knight of Swords reverso. We're going to take a look at this. We've got some movements here. That is Help Me, I'm poor. That's a Bridesmaids reference. That looks like the Eight of Swords in reverse. Let's just double check. It sure is. So I once was blind, but now I see. So that's what I'm hearing. And we've got the moon, of course, because the moon is all about what's hidden being revealed. So, blind spots be gone. If you had a little potion, that's what it would be called, my beautiful pile 3. You have no problems with success. In fact, I think you're quite lucky naturally, and that has worked both for you and against you historically, because things seem to come easily. And yet, this one area of your life, this one situation that you let go of it because you realized you actually had no control. It was something you couldn't attract, if that makes sense. Like you in your energy have this gift for attraction. So it's, in a way, you're very good with the feminine quality, irrespective of whether you identify feminine or masculine on the beautiful spectrum of energies. Whatever ratio and makeup you feel at home in, you have a power with the feminine aspect, which is receptivity and receiving. So in this particular situation, you thought you could just attract it into your life. And so you kind of sat back and waited for it to hit you. And we see that you're really attuned to success. It's kind of natural for you. But when you sat back and waited for it to hit you, instead you kind of got hit in the face with some consequences. And you've realized in this particular situation that letting go and letting God, to borrow the ism, let go, let God, kind of wasn't doing it. And the reason it wasn't doing it is because there was some fear here about actually manifesting this situation. With the Page of Cups in reverse, clarified by our holding, our jarred up, bottled up Four of Pentacles, it shows me that the reason you couldn't receive this situation that you desired into your life is because a part of you didn't want it yet. And you were actually kind of jarring yourself off, holding yourself closed. In a way, you put, let's say that these are supposed to be mushrooms or spores or some derivative of mushroom anatomy. You kind of jarred and bottled yourself up, and in a way, the spirit is saying pickled yourself and walled yourself off because there was an emotional component to this situation that you weren't ready to feel yet. Maybe it was too intense of an emotional peak, too intense of a loss, I'm hearing, or potential loss, too intense of a change of life. And so you kind of closed it off and said, oh, it'll work out if it's meant to. But that was a little itty bit of a cop out there, in that it was, those were the words, but the real truth of it was, I'm not ready and I don't want this thing. Now you've realized with the Emperor showing up that personal power will be required. And in addition to personal power, voicing something very important with the Knight of Swords in reverse. It's something that's been left unsaid, and you're ready to say it in this situation. So thinking of this as a situation, it's more like an energy. I don't see this being attached to one specific circumstance of your life, my beautiful pile 3. I see this being attached to every circumstance of your life. I've joked about this before in the Little Reader's House, but I used to have a very cool fitness I almost said fitness professor, and that's a beautiful name, but that's not what she was. She was like a fitness coach, I suppose, or she would lead this boot camp experience that I'd go to at like 4 a.m. before work, and she would say, Amanda, as she yelled at me, How you do one thing is how you do everything. And here it is. This is the energy represented here. This is not a situational type of energy. It is a global energy. It's permeating all areas of your life. You're realizing that where you block yourself off, sometimes inaction, sometimes passivity isn't truly letting go. It's copping out, and it's choosing to forfeit growth in favor of safety, which we all do, my beautiful Tiger's Eye crew. We all do it. We all forfeit growth in favor of safety at different stages of our life. It's actually very much part of the journey. It's so that we can have a lot of time with safety and eventually get tired of safety, which is what's happened here. You've gotten tired of the unknown just being unknown, and you're ready to actually make things happen. You've gotten tired of this Eight of Swords energy of being bound up. Traditional Eight of Swords is represented with an individual whose eyes are bound, they cannot see. This is blindness in two categories. Oh, and did we not hear, I once was blind, but now I see. Amazing grace. Oh, yes. Grace has entered the chat. Now, that may be a person in your life, and you're like, hey, Grace, I know Grace. I love Grace. I'm going to have a sip of my tea real quick. But it's not, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a person named Grace. It's the energy of grace entering the chat. Amazing grace, in which you now realize it's okay if I mess this up. It's okay if I actually take action and go for something and say some words and say what I want and invite and claim and request and command and insist and desire and communicate and voice. It's okay if I use that beautiful little muscle in my throat to flex my voice box and utter the sounds that represent the vibrations of my heart. It's okay to get unified. It's okay to get on board with myself. It's okay to get aligned. It's okay to own the shadows and the things that are ugly and the things other people might not like. It is okay. That is what amazing grace is. And it almost just made me cry, because the wave of allowance that you're giving yourself now, and it could be because we've entered the new year, it could be because you've gone through some significant life changes, it could be because grace has been on your list of things to allow into your life. And I'm thinking of one of my own most beautiful souls that I love in this life, who has had grace on their list in their life, and it's just making me crack the biggest smile, because that's a beautiful thing to aspire to, and it is hitting you now, my beautiful pile 3. So yes, grace has entered the chat. Write that down somewhere. You're ready to allow yourself to take action. That is what's coming full circle here. And as a result, many things, many areas of your life, not just one, are going to rapidly change, because there were areas that had slowed to a halt, that could not progress, could not go beyond this 10 of Pentacles, because of that containment element. And the interesting thing is we see this containment here in this jar, and then this looks to me like the same spore or the same mushroom thing, but unleashed. So it's like, once you get rid of this 5 of Swords, this stopping yourself from saying something or from being held down by your own word, because I do see here this anti-committal energy, like afraid to be pinned down by what you say you want, pinned down by your own desires. But Spirit says there's no sexier way to be pinned down, pile 3, than by your own desires. Take that for what it's worth, deity. So let's get these together and peep. Let's do a little peep of how this is all going to unfold for you. So Spirit, please show us for my beautiful pile 3. How is this going to unfold for them? How's my gorgeous Tiger's Eye crew going to see, smell, hear, taste, feel, understand, understand, vibe with, ride with this energy? Whoa. Hey. Ooh, interesting. If the moon comes up again, I don't know what I'm going to do, because it just came up in pile 1 and pile 2. I said earlier, I'm not sure to who, that all of our crews are connected today, and I really feel that. So irrespective of when you find this timeless reading, there is some relevance to astrological and energetic forces, because when piles are connected this closely, it's something going on in the collective. So Whenever you find it, have no fear, darling. Just know that when this video is released, some serious stuff was going down in the collective. And it echoes on forever. All right, Spirit, show us how this is going to unfold for this beautiful soul. This beautiful soul who is so worthy of love. Yes, Spirit, act. What do you know? Taking action. Oh, my booty, key. This is the last card in the deck. Very powerful one. Ah, the Empress, nurture. Ah, yes, enchantment. Celebrate. Clarified by memory. My booty is clarified by 2 cards, both of which came up in pile number 2. So we'll talk about that. With the Empress, not the Empress, but that sounded a little bit like Temperance, so there's some balance coming in. We've got Abracadabra, connect, beautiful. And then we have the World, bliss. And then on the back of the deck, we have Resurrection. And then this popped out while we were shuffling. I just want to peep it one more time because it's popping out again. It wants to be seen. Sorcery. Now, this card is very interesting because it represents an inhaler. And it talks about old technology that has been around forever and has been repurposed. And then we've got Resurrection, which is also a sort of repurposing. So what you're doing here, beautiful soul, is you're taking bits and pieces. You've continued to grow. Even when you thought you were being stagnant, you've continued to grow. And you've grown immensely. Your emotional intelligence in particular has increased, your EQ. So now you can expect to have these much more rewarding interactions with perhaps the same people in your life. With Resurrection, you're bringing back relationships. You're bringing back things that maybe you let fall to the wayside as you were kind of self-isolating. Oh my goodness, what's the word here? There's a word that's, what is it? There's a word turbine for turning, but then there's something else having to do with oscillation. You kind of put yourself in a sort of emotional blender and put it on high. And now you've turned the blender off and you're taking the product out and you're pouring it onto a plate and it's free forming into this beautiful artwork. All the pieces that were like force blended together are separating into their own imagery. And if I could show you this, it is art that's coming together. Instead of trying to force through mechanical means, if you think of the blade of a blender spinning around and you're trying to mix oil and water, if you don't have some kind of suspension device, it's another chemical that allows the oil and the water to mix, an emulsifier. When you stop the blender, they separate again. But Spirit's saying that's kind of how it was always meant to be. By putting yourself into a blender and trying to kind of be whole alone, the blender had to continue running the entire time, and it's not meant to. You're actually supposed to be at rest. That reminds me of a military call, at rest. And you kind of can step your legs apart and just breathe for a second. You don't have to be at brace, so you don't have to be in attention. You're meant to be at rest, Spirit says. You're meant to relax. And there's a military quality here as well. So you might be leaving the military. You might be leaving some kind of militaristic, super regimented, routine, discipline bound thing and just kind of getting a little more juicy and flowy and mellow and chill. And what's going to happen is when you pour out the contents of the blender and everything separates on the plate again, it's going to separate into art. Then you're going to look around at the table and see that everything you were self-isolating from are a bunch of other plates filled with similar components that have all separated into their own art. And then suddenly all the plates get whisked away and all of the art co-joins into this beautiful tapestry of moving, ebbing, and flowing life. And in that we see the wholeness and the perfection of unity. That is what comes full circle for you. And you're going to feel this. You haven't felt this since childhood, my beautiful pile 3. Oh, we've got the tiniest little spider who's about to walk into our spread. Don't panic. Little guy is shy. Little guy just wants a friend. So I'll let you know. But right now, he's right over there and he's making his way like ever closer. He's been around since pile 1. So I'm glad he feels at home. Anyway, you're resurrecting. You're bringing back to life. You're feeling things you haven't felt since you were a child. Could even be an intrigue with animals. Could even be going back to old hobbies, old work, things that you thought weren't for you. And suddenly you're all about them. They're all for you. It's going to start with your action. That's how this unfolds. So action you've been putting off for a good long while. Use your memory to remember what that is. It's something that you wanted once, and then you told yourself no because it wasn't the right time, or you weren't really ready, or didn't feel safe. It was too emotionally intense. With all this water here in this memory card, there has been a resistance against immersing yourself in emotion. And now Spirit says, you're ready. You're ready. You found your key. Your key was the vision. Your key was realizing that what you want is going to require you put your walls down. These both came up in pile 2. And it's the Wheel of Fortune and vision as a huge turn of events in which following your heart becomes the most rewarding thing that you can do for yourself. And following your heart is going to require action. It's getting out of this passive receptive mode and actually initiating connection with people, making plans, celebrating. I'm seeing you creating a social event and inviting people over. I'm seeing you set things up maybe for your kids, or set things up with family, or attend events that you've been invited to where you'd normally kind of hermit it up. Now you're like, no. Hermit what? I will be there, or I will be square. With this bliss, it's the world, but it's in reverse. So it tells me you're actually just kicking something off. Something that you'd hoped for, that you thought was over and thought had ended, is actually re-exploding with the resurrection card here. It's not the end. It's just the beginning. That's the message that Spirit's getting across. Is it's giving me the Notebook. It wasn't over. It still isn't over. And then Noah and Allie, like, next thing you know, they're making out on the wall, and it's glorious. But it isn't over, and it still isn't over, and it's not over now. Like, you're the magician. You get to call down the magic. It turns out the whole time it wasn't about waiting for it to happen to you. It was about you happening to it. So, sweet Spirit, give us the advice, or what to expect in this situation for my beautiful pile 3 as they go forth and make their move. They've got the key. They know it's all about listening to their heart now. It's getting out of pure receptivity and into connectivity. The receptivity piece, beautiful soul. Spirit says you'll hang on to that. You'll keep that. But you're going to use it now to make your heart open. You're going to use it to open your heart and be receptive in your heart space, versus receptive in the boundaries of the walls of your body. You're now letting people pass the boundaries into your heart. It's true receptivity. Instead of using feminine energy as a boundary, which is very crafty, clever thing to do. It gives the impression of warmth, but it locks the door. Now you are unlocking the door with this key, and you're letting people in. Nothing is yet set in stone. Ooh, until you act. A win-win outcome is forecast. I meant forecast. And don't let pride get in your way. Be of the D, a new romantic cycle begins. New moon in Libra. Be of the D, by the way. That's short for back of the deck. So here's the dealio. Until you act, my beautiful friend, nothing is set in stone. That is both good and bad. So don't panic. You're not going to get trapped by consequences. This is something we'll talk about a little bit in the Q&A today at the end of this reading, where you can get to know me a bit more if that's something you'd like. But nothing is yet set in stone. Everything is dependent on the intention you bring to a thing. So if you are looking for a new romantic cycle, or you are looking for new love and new connection, this is heavy energy of connection. As long as you approach every romantic situation or every conversation that you have with this person or the people or even yourself as you prepare to take action, as long as those conversations are from a place of integrity and love and compassion and generosity, you can't go wrong. You're not going to get trapped by your consequences. We only become trapped by our consequences when our intentions were to manipulate or to create a specific outcome, when we're doing some kind of transactional, shady thing without being totally forthright and honest about what it is we truly desire. As long as you are honest and forthright and your approach is one of integrity, fear not. Fear not, fear no evil. Fear no evil, something like that. A win-win outcome is forecast. So we got a new moon in Libra and a full moon in Libra. Huge amounts of balance. Things are coming into justice for you here. When you act from that place we were just talking about, you can't go wrong. I guess the cards are just repeating what we said. A win-win forecast, a win-win outcome is forecast. It's the natural byproduct of you showing up from a place of honesty. And then don't let pride get in your way. Especially with initiating, there's the energy here of, I don't have to initiate, like they should initiate to me. They should be so lucky to be in my presence. And yeah, that's absolutely true. I feel freaking lucky to be in your presence. But you initiated by clicking on the video. If you want to have connection, you've got to initiate it. You've got to be direct about it and put the pride aside. It doesn't make you less for being the one who extends the invite. In fact, my humble opinion, it makes you more. So that is where we are leaving it today, my beautiful pile 3. It has been such an honor basking in your energy. I can't wait to see you in the Q&A if that's somewhere you want to be. If you're moved to like, comment, or subscribe, it makes my heart sing. And until we meet again, beautiful soul, I am sending you all the love I've got. Bye for now. I think that's how you're supposed to do it. That's how they do it in the movies. You know what I'm saying? Hello, beautiful soul. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for enjoying the reading and joining me in the brief Q&A. I figured after 8-ish or so, again, I don't do math, but after some amount of months of reading for you and us sharing space and love and good vibes, it is time to answer some of your questions, answer some of the most common questions that I receive doing this line of work and in this channel. So it's 10 questions. Maybe there will be more at a future date, but let's start out with number 1. Are you psychic? Yes, I am. And so are you. It is my humble opinion. I'm Ho, which is the internet abbreviation for in my humble opinion. Everybody has the ability to perceive things on all dimensions. How receptive their nervous system is to translating the feedback that they're getting from their environment and from their inner self, how subtly fine-tuned they are to seeing that information, assimilating it, and understanding it is a totally individual journey. Just so happens that I was a very sensitive kid. I have a very sensitive immune system. Yeah, that's a fact. But also nervous system. And I find those two to be interlinked. I'm sure a doctor can confirm. But my nervous system is extremely sensitive, always has been. Psychic and sensory perception runs in my family line, and it is something that I've just always had. The way it occurs for me is a little different than it occurs for other psychics, and that's true again for everybody. But I would also like to say that I believe that you're psychic too. Whether or not you have finessed and developed your abilities is another matter, but I stand by my statement that everyone is psychic. I just have had the life path that has emphasized my openness to receiving, interpreting, and translating the psychic information that I receive. How do you get your ideas for readings? That's question number 2. I almost said in the shower, and that's a place where a lot of things happen for me is in the shower. A lot of things happen for me in the shower. Getting clean, people. Getting clean. Driving. I love to drive. I know there's science for, well, first of all, I should say I studied psychology in university. Maybe you did too. My beautiful friends and family who visit me in the house, we seem to have that commonality. It's like a deep interest in psychology. So I know that there are parts of your brain that shut down when you are engaging in a relaxing or a habitual activity, like showering or driving. So the ideas can come to me then. They also come during meditation. They come when I ask for them. They sometimes come as very intrusive nudges while I'm doing completely unrelated things like eating breakfast or working on a different project. I will get the nudge or the instruction like, this is what's going on in the collective. This is important to address. Or the ideas will come directly as inspired by my own personal life. So, oh no, I'm feeling X, Y, and Z. Maybe not oh no, but I will say that some of the less favorable emotions often are what drive the inspiration for the readings, if that makes sense. So a little bit of heartbreak goes a long way in inspiring a reading about love. A little bit of burnout and exhaustion goes a long way in inspiring a reading about recharging you and encouraging you and re-inspiring you. So oftentimes you can look back through the year and get an idea of what my 2023 was like by looking at the topics of the readings that I chose. Are readings always accurate? Yes. In the moment. But the moment is not always the same moment. So you can get a reading and feel full body chills and it resonates with every cell of your body. And I know you've felt this before. And then let's say it's a pick a card reading, an hour or two or a few days later, you're drawn back to the same reading, but you resonate completely with another group, another path in that pick a card. And it's because in one moment, it was fully accurate for you, one path. And now in this other moment, something else is fully accurate for you. There's so much to be learned through tarot and readings about time and about the present moment and about predictions and about knowledge. And I have a whole speech on this, which we'll save for another video. But long story short, yes, readings are always accurate in the moment that you receive them. It's a good idea. Once again, I'm going to use the abbreviation of IMHO, in my humble opinion. It's just the way my brain works. To say the best use you can get out of tarot is to not cling. To let the knowledge and information that's coming through in the reading wash over you. Let your body get an understanding for it. And then let it move on. Don't cling to it, try not to revisit it, and don't panic if it doesn't feel like it's resonating in moments that come later. Do you read for yourself? Yes, absolutely. I read for myself, sometimes to an obsessive degree. There have been times, and I feel this is true for most readers that I know and love, having this tool to look into the unknown or unmaterialized realms, because thought forms are manifestations before they come into the physical, but they can change. So a reader walks this line between knowing that truth and also having the ability to see a lot of thought forms before they manifest, and that can really suck you into it. I've found it takes an enormous amount of discipline and self-love and self-balancing to reach a healthy relationship with the unknown and the power to look into the unknown. Again, that's something I could go on for hours about, so maybe we'll expound on that at another time. But do I read for myself? Yes. Sometimes obsessively, sometimes in a very balanced way. Sometimes I go for a significant amount of time without even having the remote desire to read for myself. It just varies. And as a human being, it varies completely dependent on my biochemistry, my health, the amount of rest I've taken, the amount of food I've taken, the amount of sleep. I already said rest. It all varies. What's your biggest piece of advice for new readers? Biggest piece of advice for new readers. Practice. Practice makes perfect, darling. The more you practice, the more comfortable you will get with the process and the more you will learn, which I would say is the utmost experience, the utmost value. There's knowledge, and knowledge we really, I'm going to try to illustrate this with my whole body. In this day and age, in our reality, we really worship knowledge. And I understand why. There's a lot of money to be made in knowledge, and knowledge is very entertaining. Think of all forms of entertainment essentially have some component of knowledge, and then knowledge is something we can take and put into our minds and spin it around over and over when we get panicky or bored, which is like all the time. So knowledge is something a lot of learners try to acquire right off the bat, like I must have more knowledge, and it has its place. But experience is what will make you a fire reader. Experience is what will make your psychic skills come alive. Experience and just throwing yourself into the fire. Fire comes up twice, so that's significant. Action, connection to the divine, all of that happens in the realm of experience. Knowledge is simply a way to prepare yourself for a moment of experience. But you can skip the knowledge and get right into the experience. You don't need to read every book on tarot. You don't have to read any book on tarot. Buy yourself a deck and start reading. Don't even look at the guidebook. Develop a one-on-one relationship with each card based off of what you like about it, based on the way it makes you feel, and just pour yourself into the experience. That's my advice. How long have you been reading? I don't know. How long have I been reading cards specifically? Probably since I was 15 or 16, so that's about 15 years. But as a child, I was reading other things. Reading is really a way of life. When you're a reader or a psychic or you work in this type of dimension, reading is something that you do in every moment that you're consciously aware. Reading a room, people say that, like, read the room, get a load, like take a look at people and assess what the mood is, what the vibe is. That's actually a wonderful way to think of reading. You can read objects, you can read events, you can read moods, you can read energies. As a kid, I was reading plants, I was reading animals, I was reading the space between the words that my parents were saying to one another. Silence is another thing you can read. You can read just about anything. So I suppose I've been reading my whole life, and again, that's a hypersensitivity. And it just turned into tarot because for our purposes, and first of all, tarot is so famous as a way to read. And then for our purposes, you and I here in this space, I can lay out a spread and give you this awesome visually guided journey. And that's kind of the beauty of tarot, is that it's like every single one's a little picture with a visual stimulus. But you can read with anything. I mean, I'm sure you've heard of other tools like runes, tea leaves. Truly, you could read this and know everything you need to know about me. The world is your oyster when it comes to reading. So how long have I been reading? I don't know. Forever. Are there consequences for reading? Oh, that's a good question. And I think I understand the basis of that question. Are there consequences for reading? Sounds like, are there negative? Are there ill effects? Can bad things happen because you're a reader? I think there are consequences for everything. There's consequences for breathing, right? Death. You will die eventually. Can we say that's a consequence for breathing? Sure. Are there consequences for reading? Like, is it naughty? Are you going to call in entities and demons and all the like? It's such a good question. I believe how you do something and the energy with which you approach it fully dictates the karma, the energetic result, the effect of that cause. So if we're talking cause and effect, the intention with which you take an action totally dictates the cause. I'm talking about the true intention, not just why we tell ourselves we do something. Because I know, speaking for myself, I've done good things before and I'm like, my intentions were so good. They were so pure. And then I got like bitch slapped by the universe for it. And in reflection, I can see that perhaps my intentions were in the hope of creating some kind of effect for myself. So I want to say, when I say intentions dictate the effect, it's not something we can be so logical about necessarily. We don't even always know our own intentions for doing something. But when it comes to, are there consequences for reading, I'd say the consequences directly mimic or mirror the intention for which you are doing the reading. So if you are truly doing it to gain truth and clarity, that will be the consequence, the result. If you're doing it to like poke your finger into the unknown and see like what happens, kind of challenge it, like Ouija board style, like let's see what we can conjure here, then you're going to have some fun consequences for that. If you are doing it out of a place of desperation, codependency, addiction, and obsession, and yes, my love, I too have been there. Have no fear, we're all in this together. Then you will breed more of that energy. So ultimately, are there consequences for reading? Yes, they will mirror the intention with which you read, just like everything in life. What's your religion? What is your religion? Okay, what is my religion? I was raised in a very religious household. It was Christianity that I grew up on. Now, with a little bit more life experience under my belt, having broadened my horizons and given myself the permission to consider that there are other truths other than the one that was forged into my brain at an early age. Also having seen some things in the non-physical realms, my religion is totally valuing every religion. I know there's a name for that. I know there's a technical name for that. But it is, I've looked into Western and Eastern religions in depth. That's one of my hobbies and pastimes. I was going to say I'm a certified meditation teacher, and that experience took a deep dive into a lot of Eastern religions and ways of thinking. So my religion now is, you could either say it's all religions or no religions. And I'm of the mind that all and no, when we make a broad generalization like that, they can kind of cancel each other out because they're on the two extremes of the infinity symbol. I'm just open. I don't know that I believe in anything other than the present moment. What's your sign? Capricorn sun. Shout out Caps. Capricorn moon. Rising Taurus. Lord, holy earth. And Venus in Aquarius, baby. That just seemed important to say. I believe South Node Gemini. North Node Sagittarius. And then obviously there's more to the chart, but I cannot think of it right now. Well, I'd just put the whole thing out there if I could. And question number 10. What keeps you going? What keeps me going? Gosh. Not to be the corniest cob on the corn. I just made that up. Trademark that one. But you do. Yeah. It's all love, baby. Love keeps me going. Love has saved my life throughout my entire life. People are the greatest form of love for me. I would say the most significant, moving form of love for me are the people in my life. So that would be my family, my friends, and every single one of you, every comment. Those especially, because that's like a communion, that's a conversation, and that gets me very excited. Just to also see people interact with one another in a space where I am. It doesn't even have to come back to me. It's just like, oh, I'm watching people share connection. That'll do. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. It's all about love. What keeps me going to read and to write, both books and music, and tell stories, which is something I do on my free time. What keeps me going to love other people in my life and to devote time to things that don't have any monetary return, or they do, but it's in contrast to the energy expended, the monetary return is in the negatives. That doesn't bother, because the real exchange that's happening there is one of love. So what keeps me going is knowing that everyone is me, and I am everyone on a very real level. We all share the same needs. We all share the same desires. We all share the same hopes. So the more that I can give to you, the more I'm giving to myself. And everything that I give to the world will inevitably come back and find me. And often it does instantaneously. When I turn off this camera and I go about my day, which I will be doing, I will be taking a sunset walk at the beach. I will be like walking on this cloud because I'll know that I have given the best of myself. And that is the most satisfying thing in the world. So it's all love, baby. That's what keeps me going. Knowing that there's someone to receive it on the other side. Beautiful you. That's it. So those are our 10 questions for today. Thank you so much for participating in this little Q&A. If you have more questions or you want to hear me expand on something further, I'd like to tack these on to the end of the readings, because I know, at least for the individuals that I follow and I love in our YouTube community, and there's so many readers and so many non-readers, just so many human beings, when they have a interesting energy or something that catches my eye, I can never get enough. So if that's you too, let me know and we'll honor that, and I'll continue to share anything that you'd like. Thank you for being here. Thank you for enjoying the reading. I love you so, so much. I'm sending you all the love I've got and more. And until we meet again, beautiful soul, bye for now. Oh, that's not the angle. Oh dear. We're gonna find it. We're gonna find the perfect angle. I just know it. Gotta close the window though.